jQuery Mobile allows you to create page headers that look like native application headers. So let's take a look at some of the options when working with page headers. To add page headers, all we need to do is add a div onto our page and assign it a data role of header. Now inside that header, we need to put at least one H tag with some text, and that will become the title of our top header. So you can see that right here. It's called home. If we add a link to a header section, so add a link, this is going to link to the blog page. Blog is going to look like a button. If we add two links to the header section, so there's two links right here, you'll see that we get two buttons, one on each side. So let's say that this one to the left is going to be my home button. It's going to link to home. And now we have two buttons. They just appear one right after the other. Doesn't really matter where I put these two links. It's just going to organize them depending on the order that they are right here. So let me undo that. I can add an icon to my links by using the data icon attribute. So I'm going to add a data icon equals home to this home button on the left-hand side, and it looks like a little house. And I'll copy and paste this down here and add a data icon arrow right. And that adds a little arrow pointing to the right. There's a number of other icons that you can use. So for example, you can use the grid icon. You can also use the gear icon, or something like, if you need a back button, just the back icon. So to find all of the available buttons, make sure you check out this webpage in the jQuery Mobile documentation. Scroll down a little bit and you'll be able to see all of the default icons that you can call from any of your pages. Now you can control the positions of the icons by using another attribute. So if we take a look at our page, let me go ahead and switch this back to a arrow right. We really don't need a home button on the home page. That would be nice to have on the second page. I'll actually copy this whole entire section with my header onto our blog page. Okay, and we'll indent it a little bit. Now, obviously, when we do this, we want to do a different header on this page. So my H1 tag for the header on the blog page will be blog. And I want to get rid of the link to the blog on the blog page. And I want to get rid of the link to the home on the home page. So there it is. If I click on blog from the home page, it takes us to the blog section, and I can click on home to go back to the home page. So on the home page, my arrow looks a little weird because it's to the left of the text that says blog. It would be a little nicer if we could put that to the right of the word blog and make a little more sense to see it after the text. We could do that by adding an additional attribute called data icon position, or data icon pos. On the home page, we have a link to this blog, and we'll do data icon POS, and it's going to be an icon position of right. That puts our arrow to the right of the text up here. We can get rid of text in the buttons by using data icon pos with no text. So on the second page, I don't really need to say home. The home icon is pretty self-explanatory. So right here on the second page, I could type in data icon POS and type in no text. So on our second page, we just get a little home icon. We can click on that and it takes us back to the home page. Now, it would be nicer if this button was actually on the right-hand side. The way that we've done that before is by just making two icons, right? And that puts this on the right-hand side. But if we only have one button and we want it to be on the right, we need to do things a little bit differently. Let me show you how jQuery Mobile works. I'm going to click on this preview, and since this is a WebKit browser, I can right-click and select Inspect Element. Actually, it's better if you right-click on top of the icon itself. So if you select Inspect Element, it's going to find that element in the code. And let me go ahead and make my window bigger here. And it's going to show you that that particular element is styled already with some properties. So if we take a look at this, you can see the anchor tag, which is the parent of what I clicked on, has a bunch of classes already attached by jQuery Mobile. One of the classes that you see right here is called UI button left. So by default, jQuery Mobile adds a class called UI button left. If we want the button to be on the right, then all we have to do is override that class and make it a icon button right. So we'll do that. I'm going to click back here and go to my button for the blog on the home page and just add a class. And my class is going to be UI-btn-write. Now, as soon as I do that, if we look at the code, first you could see the button moved over here to the right. If we look at the code, you can see that now my class over here is UI-btn-write, which is the correct class. So by adding this class manually, we have overwritten the way that jQuery is creating all the classes for this element, which is kind of cool. You might be wondering if there's a way of modifying the title of our page. So the title is actually at the very top of our page right here. Right now, every single page has the title of view source. It's not necessarily bad, but sometimes we want to give people a little bit more feedback on page titles. We can do that by adding a data title attribute. Now that should go inside each data role page. So we can add a data title attribute, and we can say view source : home for this one. We'll do the same thing for our other page. So I'm going to copy that code and come down here and type in data title view source blog. Now in this preview, it's not going to show you that. So I'm going to save it and then refresh. And then I'm going to click on one of these links. You can see that it says now view source blog. When we go back to our home page, it has the right title. So there's a little bit of refreshing that you have to do at first, but that takes care of giving you some good titles that you can use at the top of your documents. If you want to learn more about how headers work in jQuery Mobile, take a look at this page right here, which shows you the header structure and some of the options that you can add to headers. Adding native-looking headers to our pages was pretty easy, and jQuery Mobile gives us a lot of different ways to control and customize our headers.